You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
I'm Clint. 3 Windows Monday. How y'all doing? This is Colin. We're going to get to him in a second. Who he is. He's a great UGA fan, which is fantastic because do you know who we don't allow on this podcast, Daniel?
Anyone else?
Anyone else. There you go. There it is. Somebody asked on the YouTube channel, how do I get on the pod? And I said, be an awesome fan. That's it. This is how it goes. Colin is one of those. Daniel and I are fans first and foremost. We do nothing but talk UGA like you would at a tailgate or with friends or with the ex-Florida fan that is now subtly, ever so slightly inching their way to either Bama or Auburn or Ole Miss. Who's to say? We're not gurus or insiders by any stretch of the imagination. We're fans. Don't take ourselves too seriously nor each other. Have some fun on this podcast with us.
Scully Reddy? Is that your name? Is that your name in the comments on YouTube?
Come on. Hey, where'd you go, bro? Where'd you go?
How we doing down there? No, I have faith, Clint. He's going to be here on this video. He's going to be in the comments.
Oh, he's going to be back.
We'll see. Moral victories. They outgained us. I don't know if you know that. All right. We're fans. You're fans. That's what the podcast is all about. If you're a Georgia fan, congratulations are in order to you. And we're glad that you're here. Clint and I are here every day talking about the Dogs, and we love to have as many of you on the podcast as we can. At Dogs Podcast is the Twitter. LockedOnBulldogs@gmail.com is the email address. YouTube, audio podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio, go there, subscribe, leave us a rating and review, and then head on over to YouTube. If you're one of Colin's degenerate friends and you're here watching the podcast, just subscribe to the subscribe to the YouTube channel, and it's a personal favor to him if you do that, and so he will owe you the next time you go visit him out in Colorado. He'll take you snowboarding.
Drinks
That's what he said.
Colin.
All expenses paid.
Yep.
Drinks on him if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. So go ahead and do that. Colin, longtime listener, first-time caller, welcome to the show. How you feeling, man?
Thank you. I'm feeling great. I like to think about this. They give, Clint and Daniel give their spiel at the beginning of the show. They are fans first and foremost. Whatever they talk like fans. They talk like you would, and they also run their podcast like you would, and you would just have your friends on. So here I am
That's
in
right.
the flesh.
It's much easier that way. It's much
Exactly.
We could shoot for the big. We're not trying to have Kirk Herbstreit on the pod. Okay, like it's not.
Pre-production is pretty simple. When all of a sudden we just go through our phone and be like, I don't know, Colin's he'd be fun. I bet. Sure, let's have him on.
There we go. Here
Sure.
I am. We know you're listening.
Well, it's 34-7. That's the number that we're really here to talk about today. Again, we could start any number of places. The moral victories that Florida has achieved in this series.
I was just going to say, Daniel, how dare you start by saying good news? Did you know that we had the same amount of first down conversions as Florida? Did you know they had more completions than us? Did you know that we had the same amount of turnovers as they did? Did you know that they passed for more yards than us? How dare you say that we should be proud of this game?
It's tough. When they scored that touchdown, I was upset. I know you were upset.
Which touchdown were you talking about, Daniel?
The touchdown.
The one touchdown. I just wanted
touchdown.
to make
I'm sorry.
sure
I said
knew which one.
I thought I made it clear when they scored the touchdown. Is what I said.
The touchdown.
I was upset. I know y'all were upset. I wanted that streak to end. Everybody wanted that streak to end. That would have been awesome. My wife, I was visibly upset. My wife looks at me and she says, it's a good season when you're upset that you gave up one touchdown in a game when you're dominating Florida. And I said, you're right. but I still feel bad. And then Zamir busted that run off to the end zone, and I said, "Okay, now we're all back. We're all feeling good."
No, it was fantastic. That's the number we care about most of all. Again, is that win. And it wasn't just the 2 minutes and 19 seconds or whatever it was between the first quarter and halftime right there at the end that did it, Daniel. It was the entire game. Colin, what was the thing that stood out to you from this game? Like the biggest impression, being a longtime UGA fan of the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. What was the biggest impression from this game?
I would say that man, Nakobe Dean, is everywhere. That's the biggest. I left the game thinking to myself, college football players don't do what this man, Nakobe Dean, is doing. I don't know if y'all remember a couple of weeks ago when the first time College Game Day was in Athens, and they did that piece on the defense, and they asked Nolan Smith what makes this defense special, and Nolan Smith pointed at Kobe Dean and said, "We just do whatever that guy says to do, whatever he calls, we just do that." And Nolan Smith did what Nakobe Dean called to the tune of 2 forced turnovers yesterday. But also Nakobe Dean, like middle linebackers don't break on the ball on the sideline and house it for 50 yards the way that it just doesn't happen. I left the game yesterday being like, this guy, Nakobe Dean, he's a lagoon creature.
It's not real. That was a DeAndre Baker play. And you realize that like that dude weighs 260, and he leads their team in sacks, and he's the best tackler on the unit as well. And he can do that too. He's got the ball skills as well. Yeah.
He held the ball. He kept the ball across the goal line too, unlike DeAndre Baker, which is
oof, man, come on, Colin. I mean, it's the energy that we expect from UGA fans. That's appropriate, but still, nonetheless. Tay. Look, when he baited that throw, that was the exceptional thing to me on that play. Like, I know it was incredible ball skills. It was incredible, but y'all realize this is the type of level we're at now. We're like the orcas out in the wild, just picking up seals and like tossing them up in the air just for fun. Mm-hmm. And he's over here being like, "Hey, go ahead. No, he's open. Go ahead. Throw it in the flat. Oh, wait a second. I knew you were going to do that. And let me go house it." That was exceptional. This man is different. Roquan Smith has some competition at that Mount Rushmore for middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. It's there.
Look, they did a special on this defense on game day. I'm still waiting for the special that they're going to do on Nat Geo on this college defense or on this Georgia defense, just comparing us to the Orca Whales. But I hear that the production is in the works. And if you could give us an update on where the production stands for that'd be fantastic. Don't forget that not only did Nakobe Dean have a pick six, but he was also, you could say, responsible for the other interception in that game. A three-headed monster, because Trayvon Walker, unbelievable play. That's a defensive tackle, y'all. I don't know if you are aware of that, but he came into school.
Dean weighed a lot. Y'all know how much Trayvon Walker weighs?
He out there dropping into coverage, and unbelievably athletic play. And then Nolan Smith, the beneficiary, but don't forget Nakobe Dean's pressure up the middle on that play. What happens when Anthony Richardson is pressured? What did John Tweet Sports tell us what's going to happen when he was pressured? Does he throw the ball to his team when he's pressured, or
makes very wise decisions? Very wise, very methodical decision-making process happens then.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we got more to talk about. Colin, I want to hear the rest of your thoughts on the game. I want to hear what stood out to you from this cocktail party. And we'll get to all that as soon as we come back and Clint tells you about this.
College football fanatics, have you heard about PrizePicks? PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. I love it. I know you'll love it as much. It's wicked addictive. It's the leader in college sports daily fantasy. Offers more college props than anyone else in the world. So if you could find a college prop, I don't know, on Anthony Richardson interceptions in a game, that's fine. I would have said, yeah. On this podcast, we said, go ahead and make a prop on a pick six. Don't sleep on that. And y'all would have been just fine over at prizepicks.com.
Take the over.
Take the over. All of the users right now, head over there and get promo code locked on. Get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Put $100 in, get $100 right on top of that. Promo code locked on. You pick 2 to 5 players over under their projections, and it's just you versus the projected numbers. Use the award-winning app both at the App Store and Google Play, or you can go to PrizePicks.com. Don't hesitate. Check out PrizePicks.com. Use promo code locked on. Get in the App Store. Download the app today. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy.
Colin, we were talking before we started recording, and I said to me, my favorite part of this game is that I knew we were going to win. I knew that the win was coming. That I was not questioning it whatsoever. And then we did win. I knew that the game wasn't going to be close, and then the game wasn't close. And so you might think that that would have been sort of a bland, vanilla day for me. You might think that, like, well, there's no excitement in that. You might think, but you'd be wrong. That it felt better to know we were better and then to prove we were better than it did to outperform my expectations, which just goes to show you, I think, Georgia fans, am I right, Colin, that, like, it's okay to believe. I know you're on this team, right? Like, you're on the side. It's okay to believe in this team.
Yeah, man. I'm in a, like we all are, in a good amount of Georgia football group texts. And I feel like I'm the only one all year that has been sort of beating the drum of, like, this team is the best team. This team is elite. Why are you, person in group text, why are you worried about the Tennessee game? Hendon Hooker is of no consequence to me. Like, that's been me all year, because I'm like, it's okay. Like, there have been years past where we get to Atlanta and I'm sort of like hoping against hope we might beat Alabama. Like, maybe we get a couple of bounces and, whatever, the 50-50 breaks our way. And I'm like, if you run the simulation 1,000 times, we win the most times. Like, we are the best team. And it's okay to feel that way. And that's how I felt yesterday watching us against Florida. Watching us against who I heard was the best quarterback in the SEC. That's just what I heard. Yeah, that's just what
most talented.
I heard. Yeah, so good that on that pick 6, Nakobe Dean felt no need to spy Anthony Richardson. He had vacated the premises. He was nowhere to be found.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wide gap between Georgia and these other teams. And not only that, it's a wide gap between this Georgia team and previous Georgia teams. Like, it's a wide gap between this team and 2017, y'all. Like, it's not to say we're gonna, every time, by the way, we make these comments, Colin, on the pod, somebody gets on the YouTube comments and says, like, you must not have been a Georgia fan very long if that's how you feel. And Clint personally gets very upset by those types of comments. He gets hurt. He's very sensitive. And so please don't make those comments, because Clint really does not appreciate them. But
look, y'all came at me on Friday before the Georgia game and before the Braves were in the World Series. I wasn't a well man, and
it's
things
true.
just it got hit.
It's true.
It's easy, like a peach.
It's like a peach. Yeah. So there's a wide gap, and I mean, I don't know, how do you say it? It's this defense. Like, who's going to score? I watched the Ohio State Penn State game on Saturday night.
Nah.
I'm sorry. Who's going to score? Who is it that's going to score against this Georgia team? I don't see it.
The team that I had most fear about, Oklahoma. Like, I mean, hey, look, again, Georgia fan, listen to us. Look me in the eye. I swear I understand this. We have to go play the game. No one's saying we're going to be handed it, okay? But what we're saying is, if you look, nothing scares you. When you are that orca out in the wild, sure, a whole pack of sharks can come up on you and something can go weird. A dolphin and herd, I don't even know what it's called. Somebody, Nat Geo, tell me what a dolphin herd is called. Is it a family? I think it's a family.
Herd of dolphins. The old herd of dolphins coming up.
They could do something to you, but you're not walking around scared. Okay? That's the point that we want you, Georgia fan, to understand. Stop playing like there's a boogeyman behind us. Guess what? We're the boogeyman. Like, guys, We are the boogeyman. This defense is the boogeyman. This Todd Monken-led offense is the boogeyman. Nothing scares us. We scare other people. Nobody wants to play us. And yes, we have to go execute. That's every single Saturday, guys. Every single Saturday. But no, this defense was something else. This offense was clicking. Zeus is, by the way, the running back we all hoped he would be. We're here. We're here.
Let's go there. Let's go there right
Please
now.
do. Please do.
Colin, your thoughts on the offense, and particularly this what I'm going to now call a two-headed monster of number 3 and number 4, and their performance on Saturday. What did you see out of the backfield?
Specifically out of the backfield, I saw a stable of running backs, and like you said, particularly number 3 and 4, that were just going to kind of, like we said, Kirby has these mantras. We said that before. This year it's connection, right? But 2017 it was just keep chopping, right? Just keep chopping wood, and eventually you chop long enough and you get the ball back and you go 1-2 plays, 42 yards, Zeus to the house at the end of the game, because this backfield just doesn't quit. And I also think we're seeing right now what we've been wanting to see from the two of them for so long, which is they complement each other so well, sort of like James getting outside, Zeus sort of, like I said, being that like in between the tackles, whatever. Those two are working together in such a great way. And it also speaks to Todd Monken, his ability to sometimes in the NFL, you feel like this pass catching back is in the game. That means they're running XYZ, and both of them can run both style, but we're seeing them being utilized in ways that are really complementary to one another. So the backfield, A+.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's that complementary. It's a two-headed monster. First 100-yard rushing game of the season for Zeus, which is not surprising because, we've been sharing the load. But I think obviously Kenny had the turnover in this game, and I thought was playing well before that. Had a really nice reception and run after the catch. Kenny did in his return, but you saw, I think, in this game again, Kendall Milton's hurt, and so that's probably going to factor in. But you saw Todd Monken really lean on those two guys, and when those two guys got a sweat going, when those two guys got a lather going, they're tough. They're really tough to stop. And this offensive line is really, really good. Like they're really good. Right tackle McClendon got beat on a couple pass pro situations in this game, but when they drive off the ball, this offensive line is not the biggest we've ever had. There's no Ben Cleveland out there. There's not even a out there, like just massive people inside. There's no Solomon Kinley. But these guys run block angry, and they do it really, which is really good for this offense. As you said, Clint, Todd Monken feels like he's in a bit of a groove play calling.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing, this blocking, this run game, if you didn't see on the touchdown, I'm talking about the touchdown, and also the house from Zamir that was from over 40. Two things that happened on those plays that we've been lacking in other areas or other games and other years, but we're back now. I know Kyrus Jackson caught a touchdown ball that was phenomenal. That was just spectacular ball skills. But when we were down near the end zone, we punched it in. Did you see him drive blocking his DB out of the back of the end zone? And did you see on Zeus's house call, who was 19 ain't just a pretty face that could run with the ball. 19 is downfield taking safety's souls. Okay, he is blocking this offensive line. Yes, but now the connection, the team first mentality, this run game is clicking because all of a sudden we got Big O and Brock out there blocking, and you ain't gonna win on them blocking you downfield, y'all. And Kyrus Jackson is doing the same thing. So
that's a bad man. 19.
I don't know if y'all saw on that specific Zeus play. Oh yeah. On that specific Zeus play, Bowers comes across the formation, kind of like Chaney used to utilize this a lot, where he'd have a tight end kind of as an H-back, and they would come across the formation to create an extra gap on whatever side of the formation. And Bowers comes across the formation on that Zeus run, and there's not really a hole there. And he just sort of creates it. He's like, well, we're going here. And he just kind of plowed it out and then kept running, went and found his safety, and Zeus 40 yards later is in the end zone. 19's unbelievable.
He freaking Minecrafted a hole. Like there was not a hole there, but he just went ahead and said, like, we'll put one here.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor yet. Not a sponsor yet. Speaking of sponsors, listen, we're now 20.
See what there? See what we did there?
Yeah, look, professionals. This is professionalism. Is what this is. We're 20 minutes into the podcast. We have not waxed poetically about Dan Mullen yet, and so segment 3. Stay tuned because I can't let it go any longer. But first, I want to tell you about Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar on planet Earth. They come in a wide variety of delicious flavors, and all of them can be ordered at BuiltBar.com. Enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, and you'll get 15% off your order. They're all high in protein, high in fiber, low in sugar, keto approved, and great for whatever diet, meal plan, meal replacement, pre-workout, post-workout you happen to need. BuiltBar.com. Clint and I have tried every single flavor, and every single flavor is delicious. And you can get yours at BuiltBar.com. Enter the promo code LOCKEDON15 and get 15% off your order at BuiltBar.com. Okay, guys. What if I told you that it was 3-0 in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party? Georgia had already missed a field goal in true world's largest outdoor cocktail party fashion. I mean, nothing more world's largest outdoor cocktail party than a weird intentional grounding on third down and then a missed field goal after driving the ball down the field. Georgia gets a 3 and out, and then they get the ball back, but they only get a field goal. It's in the second quarter of the game. The score is 3-0. It's the number 1 team in the country and a team that's 4-3. What if I told you that on the 38-yard line, it was 4th and 13?
Okay.
And instead of kicking a long field goal,
which would have been, by the way, you kick a long field goal, you make it, all of a sudden, Georgia, we're not feeling so good. Like we're now tied.
3-3.
Oh, that's not good.
Or punting and pinning this offense, which albeit the offense had been moving the ball, but the offense had not scored to that point in the game. You pin us back on the 1-yard line, and you potentially get a 3 and out. And, the quarterback, which maybe we'll get to on a future episode, the quarterback not throwing the ball down the field at this point, but you pin us back on the 1-yard line. Maybe you get the ball back inside the 50. You have a chance to score. What if I told you that instead of all that, the best coach in the SEC, the best offensive mind college football's ever seen, decides to go for it on 4th and 13? What would you say? Yeah. This is Dan Mullen. This is what is happening right there. He lost the game for his team in that moment. I sent you a text, Clint, and I said, this is the turning point of the game, period, end of sentence. And guess what?
It was. When he sent that offensive unit back out, when he got on his headset and started looking at his card, I started fist pumping and running around my kitchen table. And my kids were like, Dad, what are you doing? I said, fellas, buckle up because you're about to watch a moron hand us a game. And sure enough, the moron did.
Yeah, Clint, just to clarify, he went to like his best play right there, right? Like he drew up just a miracle play, like something.
It was the one circled on the card that was like behind. He had to flip open a secret compartment and like pull out an envelope to see. Yeah.
Break in case of emergency. He went to that play, or is that what he did, or
no?
What did he do instead?
Just throw it right at the guy's feet. Is that what it was? Just right at a receiver's feet.
Yep.
A receiver, by the way, because we could play the name a Florida receiver game if you'd like to.
I would lose.
That's Justin Shorter. There's the one. Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Percy Harvin. I think Percy Harvin was there at one point. Is he still? Yeah. Is he still on eligibility? Or?
By the way, I understand that he was asked to triple option his way against monsters, lagoon creatures, as Colin calls them, and that's what precipitated the moment he got out of the game. But let me tell you this right now, okay? The injury happened on that 4th and 13. Okay, it was a ego and emotion injury that happened, and the whole rest of the game he wasn't the same, and he got absolutely obliterated. His mind was gone. We not only take souls of coaches, we take souls of quarterbacks, and I feel bad for the quarterback, honestly. That's on Dan. Like, that soul is on him.
Maybe
as many souls
either he'll transfer and have a great career at South Carolina, or or whoever the next coach Florida brings in, hopefully he can develop quarterbacks because Anthony Richardson deserves a fair chance. He was never given a fair chance. But let me just, if you're an option team, Clint, if you can't throw the football, Clint,
okay,
and again, it's 4th and 13. No, it's 3-3 or 3-0. Sorry, it's 3-0. No one is forcing you to do something other than just punt the football and play defense in a game that all you need is a fumble, scoop, and score, and you could win at this point in the game. If you're an option team, you're probably not going to gain 13 yards on 4th down, and so maybe just don't hand us the game. And sure enough, Florida hands us the game. Of course, we don't score on that possession that we get the ball back because of the interception. But that all of that precipitates the onslaught of points that come at the end of the first half in probably the greatest 2 minutes of football that I've ever witnessed in my entire life, ever, at any point, ever. I'll be watching it 40 times this week. Not an exaggeration.
When anybody asks me, what's on your phone? What do you got going on there? It'll be the same answer every single time. Guys, the 2 minutes before we went to half at Georgia, Florida. And they'll be like, haven't you seen that? I said, oh yeah, no, it's fine. But it's like a masterpiece artwork. The more times you see it, the better it gets. It is just, oh gosh, that's beautiful.
If somebody asks me, what do you have on there? My first response going forward is going to be, do you want me to answer that question? Kind of like the reporter in Dan Mullen's press conference. But after that,
just crown that man. Just crown that man.
He said, I don't know. We won this year, and they won this year, and we won last year. So you tell me what the talent difference is. And the reporter said, really? Do you want me to tell you the talent difference in these two teams? Because I will, if you want me to. And then Dan started like yeah.
Look. Yeah. Now hold on. Was that must have been like a Georgia beat writer that was asking him that question?
No. Listen, if you
it was a Florida beat writer telling Dan that he knew more about the talent gap than Dan does.
When your coworkers are idiots, Clint, who gets more annoyed by that? People that work in the company or people that work outside the company? Who do you think hates Dan Mullen more? Florida people inside. Or Georgia people?
Let the record straight. All three of us love Dan Mullen.
Oh,
love him.
A+.
Genius.
Yep.
A+.
Okay. I think this, it deserves the last couple minutes of the podcast. It deserves it because I'm going to make a statement. Okay. I'll be the one out the gate since, I haven't watched that many Georgia, Florida cocktail parties, apparently. Let me be the first one out of the gate. Okay. Stetson Bennett needs benched today. Okay. Now, that is not against Stetson Bennett. Let me specify. Two things can be true at the same time. Stetson, I love you, and thank you for getting us here. No hatred, no animosity, no bad feelings, but he needs benched today. Why? Guys, because we have a better quarterback. That's the end of the story. But the end of the story is I love Stetson, but we have something better, and why not use the better thing? It needs to happen.
Let me first of all, it's been fun, listeners. Thank you for tuning into the podcast for that first 27 minutes. So
they were gone at minute 22. Don't worry.
I know you've already turned it off, but it's been fun. Secondly, let me just, if I might, Clint.
You may.
Let me. Now I'm not going to even. This is not even me pushing back. This is a cautionary tale, Clint, and it's a cautionary tale that I think you typed on Twitter, and therefore you of all people would know. Okay. Dan Mullen is about to lose his job.
Yes, sir.
Because he played the quarterback that the fans wanted him to play instead of the quarterback that was the best quarterback on the team. Listen, guys, the level to which Emory Jones is better than Anthony Richardson at quarterback right now is astronomical. He's so much better. And every Florida fan now sees that because all you had to do was watch the game, and you would see that clearly. Dan Mullen said, "Nah, I'll just play the guy that and now Dan Mullen's about to be in the stands, as you so aptly put it, with those fans watching. I'm not saying Stetson Bennett's astronomically better than JT Daniels. That's not my opinion. But my opinion is that I'm fine with Kirby and Todd making the decisions that Kirby and Todd want to make. I wish that they would make the decision that JT Daniels should play. But was JT Daniels a full go? Clint, did he have all the reps they needed?
Yes. No. Let me. JT Kirby told us after the game in the presser, he used Kirbanese, and he said if we needed him to play, he could have gone. Now go back over the 6 years. You know what Kirby says every single time against somebody who's not fully healthy but dressed out? It's the line, if we needed him, he could have played. AKA, he's not fully healthy, and only in an emergency would he ran out there. That's what Kirby means.
Yeah, the past couple of weeks, whenever he gets in a press conference and somebody asks him about the health of Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, and he says he could have played in an emergency, I'm always wondering what this emergency could possibly be.
Yeah.
Every time he says it, I was like, what is the emergency that would arise where he would say, solution, enter Marcus Rosemy?
Marcus Rosemy. It's like, well, I know that half our team was swallowed up into a black hole, but we do have Marcus Rosemy here, so let's just go ahead and plug him in.
Emergency.
He's now our starting left guard because we lost all of our left guards, so we do have him. Let's just suffice it to say, at no point during this game, we might not know what the emergency is, but I think we could safely say at no point during this game was there an emergency. There was no emergency. Stetson Bennett's just straight up throwing the ball to the other team. Not an emergency. Do you know why? Because we could have tied with only the defense.
There it is.
If the defense and the blatantly average kicker that we have had been the only people suited up today or on Saturday, we would have won the game. So there was no emergency. We're not, and spoiler alert, I don't foresee an emergency coming anytime soon.
Nope.
So, Colin, final thoughts on the game. What's your big takeaway on this team? You're obviously high on the rest of the season, prognosis, but anything specific that you want to leave us with in terms of final thoughts?
Two things. One, he's just called Pod now. He's not Hot Pod anymore. And for the
there's nothing hot
future,
about it.
He has to make many a kick before I will call him Hot Pod again. Second thing is this: I really truly believe that there are two teams in the country that are capable of beating this Georgia team on their best day. There are two teams. It's Alabama and it's Ohio State. There's the only two teams in the country that I'm worried about. If we play one of those, I'm like, okay, this will be a game in some capacity. All the other teams are it's just you put them in the crock pot and you wait for them to eventually become soft and mushy. Just keep chopping. It'll be fine.
That's well said. And again, this team's different. It's not defense travels. No one can win if you can't move the ball, if you can't run the ball, if you can't.
Again, here's my answer every single time. This is what you try to do as a head coach, okay? You take away their best player on offense and you attack their weakest player on defense, okay? I'll let you decide who you attacking on this defense and who you're trying to take away. You choose.
What about the freshman corner out there?
Oh,
is he the weakest player on the defense?
No, sir.
No, he's fine. He's just fine. All right. There's lots more to talk about. Colin, thanks for being on the show. Where can the people find you on Twitter if they want to hear more of these awful takes that you have about Georgia being good?
Yeah. You can find me at Colin K91. That's Colin with 2 L's. Colin K91 on the Twitter if you want any Georgia Bulldogs or movie takes. That's pretty much all I tweet about. So there you go.
And also, how do we get into that group text where you are persuading all of us to step back from the ledge? Like, is that open on the Twitter DM? Can we get
just a direct message situation? Yeah, that's right. All right, Colin, thanks for jumping on. Clint and I will be back tomorrow. We've got a full week slate.
Don't we ever?
Listen, this is about to get things.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Y'all thought Brooks Austin was a big and he's a big fish. Okay, just wait.
Kurt Herbstreit coming on the pod. You heard it here first.
We know you're listening.
Kirk, we know you're listening. Reach out to us. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow, and we will see you guys then.